What are you feeling right now, my friend?
It's still raining very, very hard here at Wanaku. We're just north of Hilo, up on the cliff. And behind me, you can see the angry Pacific. And the reason it looks so murky and brown right now is because what you can't see to the right is a river coming out of the hills and the mountains, bringing all that debris and mud downstream into the Pacific. So that's why it looks really nasty today. And for one thing I noticed, there are no surfers. All the surfers say they were going to come out yesterday, but they've thrown the towel in. It is really just not clean looking. But big waves coming in here. But I want to show you the massive surf down in Papoa. We were down there earlier, and look at these wave heights. I can't even guess. 15, 18, 20 feet maybe, crashing on the cliffs down there. And just a massive swell coming in from Hurricane LALA on that area of the coast. That's about 45 minutes from here in the Hilo area, but it's on the east-facing coast and getting the brunt of the wind. Some of the winds down there have been clocked at about 60 miles an hour. Hilo International Airport, which is right on the coast, not far from me, behind me, out of the range of view because of the rainfall, has gusted to about 30 miles an hour. So not a big issue, but there are power outages around the area. Most of those are down the coast and south because that's where the stronger winds are. And right now, so far, just over 20,000 customers have lost power, but they've gotten some of that on, and we're looking at about 18,000 customers in the dark. And there are a lot of trees down, too. When I was driving back, I did see a couple of trees down. I saw one minor little kind of mudslide. That was about it. But it is raining buckets. Got video of the rain coming down. Very heavy sheets of tropical rain with those gusts of 40-plus miles an hour in that area where we were down the coast. Back here, though, so far so good. The power is on where we are. The wave action continues to be up, and the rain continues to come down. And as we expected, 8 to 12 inches of rain here in Hilo. We'll see if we make it. I believe I just mentioned, that we're up to about 2 2/3, so not quite 3 inches of rainfall so far at the airport, but we've got a long way to go. One thing is for sure, in this part of the state, and far enough away from the center, we're not going to get those hurricane-force wind gusts like they will likely see as you head down towards the south point of the Big Island. Bob?
Yeah, Mike, I'm looking at that picture right now. Rainfall-wise, is coming down. What's the temperature like? As we know on the tops of the peaks right there, it's 42 degrees on Mauna Loa, Mauna Kea. What is it like right where you are?
Wow. It's quite a bit warmer. We're about 14,000 feet lower. We're just above the sea level. Now, Mauna Kea is, what, 13,805, I believe?
Something like that.
If my memory serves me correctly, something like that. So we were sitting in the mid-70s, 75, 76 degrees. So it's where it was yesterday, all day, even though we had some peaks of sun. It has not hit 80 since I got here on Wednesday night. So it's pretty comfortable. But again, the humidity is about 100% with the rainfall. It comes in bands, as you've seen on the radar, rotating in on the north side and rotating counterclockwise because we have low pressure, which is Hurricane LALA, which is going to drop off. It's going to weaken. The mountains, those big mountains, Bob, you mentioned, will tear it apart, and it's supposed to go back to about a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm for the rest of its trajectory through the Hawaiian Islands, but that doesn't mean there won't be a lot of rainfall on Maui and Oahu. Those higher elevations, some of those areas could get more than a foot of rainfall.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, we were looking at some of those outer rain bands trying to get the radar to estimate the rainfall rates, and we were a little bit unimpressed with what the radar was estimating at about an inch, in some cases like an inch and a quarter per hour. Do you think that those rainfall rates, especially in some of the stronger bands extending outside of that center of circulation, are potentially producing upwards of 2 inches per hour? What would you say?
I would think so, but again, remember, you get a rainfall rate, you get an inch and a half an hour, then it ends. That's 1 inch an hour. So the bands are rotating and moving in and moving out. So you don't get the continuous deluge of just like a car wash rainfall. But easily, some of these spots are going to get over a foot of rain, especially above the coast where we're squeezing it out up towards the volcano area. And again, above Hilo as you head up towards the elevations below Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. So it's really right now here in Hilo a rainfall story. I haven't seen any reports of any flash flooding. I drove through town recently, and yes, there's ponding, there's runoff. The rivers are filled with whatever's coming down, like we showed you just a minute ago, just the dark kind of muddy look at the Pacific there coming down on the beaches where they were surfing yesterday. No surfers today. It's just a little too, looks a little too unimpressive.
Yeah.
That water's a little too dirty for my taste.
Yeah, what do you make of the waves, Bob?
Yeah, no, the waves are no good. They're not coming in sets, a little ragged for sure. But Mike,
No.
when you were there yesterday, was the mud outflow like that, or did that just happen today?
No, that happened when the rain moved in overnight. No, there was no outflow yesterday. In fact, once you get past the house, you can't see it, but
Yeah.
people actually take their kids into that river area. There's no swimming really allowed on this beach here. This is Honolulu Beach, and they don't allow swimming. You can surf, but other than putting your toes in the water, they don't want you swimming. It's pretty dangerous unless you're an experienced surfer. And so you go around the bend, and the river, the water's coming down the river into the waves coming in from the Pacific, so they meet. And the water yesterday was pretty tranquil and pretty clear. But when you start getting runoff way up in the hillsides, just like we see in the west, we get those debris flows. I'm not seeing a lot of debris down there,
That's good.
but I am seeing, you can see the color of the water definitely has changed in a big way since yesterday.
Oh, I'm looking at a wave behind you right now that crashed in, so some good stuff. Yeah, so Haley, to answer your question, I wouldn't be out there as a surfer right now.
I mean, that's good. Less people in the water. I know that they closed down some of the beaches for, both surfing and just beach activity. But Mike, thanks so much for your update out of Hawaii. We'll be checking back in with you shortly. But I guess an aloha, hello, and goodbye,
Yeah.
because we're seeing you for the first time on our show. But we're saying goodbye now, but we'll be seeing you
Mahalo,
later.
Mike. We'll see you in a little bit, buddy.